Hello, magical. Okay, let's try that again. Hello, magical creatures, and welcome back, my haunted and hallowed friends, to Around the Cauldron. I'm your host, Sakurai the Witch, spiritual counselor, medium, and all-around metaphysical menace to the mundane. Today we're diving into the ethereal, the eerie, and the entirely subjective world of seances. But more specifically, why they never look or feel the same for everyone, especially for the medium or the facilitator that is running the show. So, what the hell is a seance? What does that even mean? Well, first thing...
The word séance comes from the French word for session or sitting, derived from the Old French soir, meaning to sit. In its proper context, a séance refers to a structured gathering where participants attempt to communicate with spirits, often through a medium. It has historical roots in spiritualism and the occult, with the intent of receiving messages from the deceased, seeking guidance, or exploring the afterlife. The practice can involve various methods such as trance channeling, automatic writing, or interpreting physical signs like knocks or flickering lights.
Wow, thank you, Jean-Michel. So now that you have the proper definition, thanks to our French friend, most people think of a Victorian lady whispering, "Is anybody there?" Or you get like a ghostly and aggressive spirit that goes boo or throws something against the wall. But look, sometimes, yes, that might be the vibe of a seance, but in reality, a seance is simply an attempt to communicate with spirits. The focus of this episode, though, is to let you know that the approach, the experience, the results, it all depends on the facilitator or the medium. It also depends on the energy in the room, and honestly, how open the people in that room are to experiencing something beyond the norm.
I have a question. Are all mediums the same, or do y'all like wear different size shirts or something, and you talk to different ghosts or something? I don't really get what that means.
Okay. First things first with that, let's get it out of the way. No two mediums experience spirits the same. Not at all. That would be like trying to describe a dream to someone. Yes, you had the dream, you felt it, you saw it. But how do you explain it? For some people, it's full-on ghostly apparitions, clear voices, physical sensations. For others, it's the subtle images in their mind, random words popping up, or an overwhelming knowing that can't be logically explained. And some people just hear, "I'm on a highway to hell," or whatever that song is called, Actually, that is the name of the song. But no, I think that's just me. So, moving on. Here's a little anecdote for you about a recent seance that I have done where I've clashed with other people that were intuitive. And by recent, I mean 10 years ago.
Damn, girl.
Because the one I just did recently was great. So about 10 years ago, I did a seance with a group of about 20 people. I know that sounds psychotic, but I did. Trust me, it was great. And there were 3 women there that claimed to all be psychics and mediums. And I say they claimed to be because I later found out that they were taking money from people and doing some crazy shisty stuff. So anyway, we're doing this seance. Actually, one of them was a medium. I should correct that. The one that was a medium was clashing with her 2 girlfriends that she was there with, okay? And a lot of the information that I was getting was about a relative of someone that was nearby them who had passed, and it was by their own means, if you get what I mean. They decided to end their life's journey in their way of their choice without getting into it, because I don't want this to get flagged. So I'm saying these details of like, hey, this is what I see, this is how old they were, this is the information. And because of the other 2 women who were very closed off and very kooky and fake, the actual medium was just like, oh no, I don't know who that would be. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't get it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
And so the point of the story is to say that later, like days later, this other medium, she contacted me via email, and she was just like, oh my God, I just realized who you were talking about. And this, days later was also when we found out that her 2 quote unquote friends were phonies, And their energy was really distracting and, overshadowing having clear and present communication. So not all mediums are going to experience things the same. And sometimes some mediums get blocked. They don't get an answer. They don't get the same information. It's just the way it is. It's, same TV show, just different subtitles.
Hi, same person, different question. Does your energy matter? Like, do you have to believe in this stuff, in order to experience something? Or can you just, kind of walk in after you get pizza and a beer and just have a good time?
Okay. Well, energy is everything. So if you walk into a seance and you're thinking, oh, this is all fake, guess what? You're probably not going to get anything but crickets and disappointment. But if you walk in with an open mind, you could experience something. Some people report a cold spot, hearing a whisper, maybe something moving. The thing is, spirits don't perform on command, and neither do mediums. Thank you very much. To me, it's like Wi-Fi. Sometimes the signal is really strong, but then there's other times where you're stuck buffering. So, patience, people.
Sucks.
Hello. I have a question. What's the perspective of a medium like? Do they think they know what they're gonna do going into it? How does that work exactly?
This is where things do get interesting. A medium could actually see a spirit standing behind a person, and you don't feel anything at all. Or maybe you heard something. Oh, sorry, I just yawned. Maybe you heard something that the medium didn't hear. But that's all about perception, ability, and trust in what's being received. Some mediums do audibly hear voices, some see images, some get full-blown apparition reenactments in their head, like a daydream or a supernatural Broadway show where it's like, dun, 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 But some, like yourself, me, yours truly, I get a mix of everything. It's interesting to me in the way that it's not to be cocky, it's more so saying that the mix of everything is different because it depends on the person and the connection. I actually feel like sometimes what's coming through, living or dead, is based on how they can project and share their energy or their message. So it's a blessing. A lot of the time it's a headache. But I'm just, the only time it's a headache is like if I'm trying to get coffee somewhere and then all of a sudden a group of people walk in and then it's like, why do I suddenly feel sad? Why do I suddenly feel this overwhelming agony or disdain for life? And it's not because I hate people. It's because
Sir, don't lie.
It's because they carried someone with them. I mean, sometimes it is because I hate people, but
So it's really cool hearing you talk about this, but I want to do this myself. So can I do this myself? Do I sit in the dark or something?
And I don't want to hear any shit from people that are like, oh, Zachariah, you shouldn't be telling people how to do this. I'm gonna do it, okay? So here's how you can experience it for yourself. If you're curious and you want to try this, here's some advice. Before you begin a seance, here's what I've always done. It's 5 tips. Part number 1, set your intention, okay? Who do you want to communicate with? Why do you want to communicate with them? Or what is the goal of this seance? Is it to, for example, understand how spirits perceive life after death? Or if there is life after death? So set an intention. The second one, make sure that you create a sacred or safe space. Some people do candles, dim lighting, no distractions. I mean, that part of it is because you want to be centered and focused. But creating a safe space for me in this is I treat it just like a ritual. I treat it in the way that I open a circle, I call the directions, I speak protection, and I'm getting those things ready for people to be involved. The third one, if you're not a medium, but you want to act as one, you can use tools. So if you're not comfortable saying things out loud, getting things that come to you, channeling, etc., you can use tools like spirit boards, Ouija boards, pendulums. You can try automatic writing. You can try a lot of different things. And remarkably enough, I'm a very techie person too when it comes to this. So if you want to like use a EVP recorder and ask a question, then record it and then wait for a response when you play it back and see what happens. Those are investigative tools that you can kind of throw into a seance. But the core thing behind a seance is that you need to pay attention. So that's number 4. Pay attention. Because if you're not paying attention, if you're not focused, if you're not distracted, or if you are distracted, the spirits are not going to give you a clear message. And they don't always speak in full sentences. They drop hints sometimes. And then number 5, if you want to do this yourself and experiment and experience it, respect the process. If you get something, great. And if you don't get something, cool. Don't try to force it. Because remember, sometimes the spirits have better things to do than fucking entertain you. Maybe you're not that interesting, you know? So...
Hi again. So basically what you're saying is everyone's experience is unique. It doesn't matter if you've done one before or not, hosted it, whatever. As long as you just go in with an open mind and you set your intention and you're good about it, you might have some great results. Is that right?
Yeah, great, good, bad, awful, shitty. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be different. And here's my closing thoughts. If you've ever hosted or been to a seance, a lot of these things are going to stick out to you and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're new to this idea and you want to give it a try, just remember, a ghost could roast you for your life choices, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But let me know how it goes. Let me know if you try this. Let me know if you take the tips that I'm giving you and you use them. Please be sure to find me on social media. It's Zachariah the Witch on Instagram. It's Z the Witch on TikTok. My website is zachariahthewitch.com. And if you enjoyed this dive into the paranormal, aka my life, be sure to subscribe, leave me a review, and please tell your friendly neighborhood ghost enthusiast all about my show Around the Cauldron. I am going to be trying to upload more of these brief, under 15-minute episodes because a lot of you have really short attention spans. What is up with that? You can't even listen for 60 seconds? 60 seconds. 60 seconds of your fucking life? Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, until next time, keep your candles lit, your energy grounded, and remember that spirits will talk shit behind your back, but that's only if you're worth gossiping about. So, have a good day. Goodbye.
Hello. This podcast and other podcasts like it are brought to you by... Who cares? It's free. You're fucking welcome. Bye.